It's Focus Friday for you. I wanted to encourage you to try and watch all the Focus Fridays that get put out every other week because it's my attempt at trying to keep this very large and complex ministry moving together, keep us on the same page, learning about the same concepts at the same time. So that's why we do Focus Friday. So for those of you who watch it every time, thank you. And for those of you who only watch it sometimes, please try to get in the habit of watching them every time so that we can move together in the same direction. I want to talk today about the body of Christ and how you are a part of that body and how you are valuable even if what you do is not visible. So the church is called the body of Christ. You are the body of Christ, and the Apostle Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians 12 that we are each part of his body. We are body parts. You're a body part. I'm a body part. And just as each part of your physical body is designed with a purpose and function, so too each one of us, we have a specific purpose and function in the body of Christ. In our worship ministry, you play a specific purpose and function. You have a purpose and function. Do you know what it is? Some of us are in more visible roles. We have a more visible position. For example, singers, musicians, pastors, preachers, people on the stage. We're more visible. Others of us have a less visible position behind a camera, behind the lighting console, behind a computer, or a director's board. But I want to encourage us today in the fact that every part of the body is valuable regardless of how visible it is, okay? You might have someone who's very visible and someone who's invisible, but they are both equally valuable. The visible parts of the body are not any more valuable than the invisible ones. In fact, in many cases, it's the invisible parts of the body that are more important than the visible ones. For example, would you rather have hair on your head or a heart in your chest? Okay, the hair is visible, the heart is invisible, but you cannot live without your heart. The heart is more valuable than the hair, even though the hair makes you look pretty. Okay, but you can survive without hair. So, for example, the sound guy is invisible. He sits in the back of the room behind everybody while they're looking forward. And yet, can you imagine trying to have a church service without the sound guy? If he didn't show up and didn't turn on the soundboard and didn't turn on the amps for the speakers and didn't turn up the faders, you would have a hard time having a church service. So there's an example of someone who is invisible and yet incredibly valuable. So don't feel discouraged if your role is less visible than someone else who has a more visible role. There are a couple people that I want to highlight that have invisible roles, but who add a lot of value to the body of Christ. Walter Lyles. Walter Lyles leads our stage team. So he, Lamonte, Vince, and Taylor come almost every Sunday and set up the stage before service. Before even the band is there for rehearsal, they are there setting everything out, getting everything turned on, and getting everything ready. And Walter always tells me, Alex, I don't want you to do any work on the stage because I need you to save your energy so you can lead the people in worship. You do what you're called to do. I'm going to do this so that you can do that. And so you see, Walter is incredibly valuable to me personally and to the church, even though no one ever sees him or the team that serves with him. Linda Kalama. Linda Kalama has been a part of this church forever, and she helps me plan a bunch of events and hosts potlucks at her house. And even though no one ever sees Linda on stage, through her invisible service, she is helping keep our team knit together and helping us to know one another and love one another and serve one another. And so she is invaluable even though she is invisible. And so you might be kind of discouraged thinking, what do I really contribute to this church? Nobody sees me, nobody celebrates me, but you know what? It matters. It matters to God. It matters to the church. What you do matters. God sees it, God will reward it, and your role, even though it might feel like it's not that big or not that important, it is. It is important. You can't survive without your liver. You can't survive without your spleen, okay? Like, you need the invisible parts to serve their purpose and fulfill their function. They are all valuable, and you are valuable. That's what I want to talk about today. Next time, I want to talk about the importance of each of the parts of the body operating at full capacity. All right, see you guys in 2 weeks. Love you.